I'm Dr. Margot Jacot, owner and director of the Juniper Center. Well, I'll tell you, I am having lots of conversations these days with other moms, and I'm a mom of two teenage boys who are, one is in junior high still, and the other one is to be a sophomore in high school. And I'll tell you, the conversation is frequently about, oh my gosh, kids are going to be home. What are we going to do? There's only remote learning. How are we going to handle this, especially for working moms or even moms who aren't working but who have other responsibilities or are just worried about their kids? So there are three things I can tell you that are just ways that I'm trying to manage this right now. And I wish I had great answers of, well, I'll do this, this, and this, and that'll solve the problem. I don't think that exists. So in the world of reality, here are just some mindset ways of maybe approaching this. One is that the only way we're going to be able to get through this as moms, as people in such a challenging time, and I won't even tick off all the things that are going on in the world right now. You know them as well as I do. So one of them is we have to figure out how to stay calm, get ourselves grounded, get ourselves calm, take some breaths, feel our feet, sit in our chair, feel our spine, notice exactly where we are right in this moment. Getting just centered, getting grounded. Why is this so important? Because we're getting anxious about this. What does this mean for our children's future? What does it mean for our future? How are we going to manage everything that's happening? When we get anxious, there's a couple of things that happen here that aren't going to work in our favor. So that's why to do this, not to just for the service, in the service of being Zen. It really is. We need to do this for a couple of reasons. One is when we're more anxious, our problem solving capacities tend to not be as available to us. That's an emotional response. When our emotions are heightened, our thinking parts of our brain, our prefrontal cortex, our organizing sort of system, the rational thinking part of our brain is not as available. So we're not in our best problem-solving mode when we're feeling anxious. So getting grounded, getting to calm is likely to help us get more problem-solving actually done. So that's one reason. The other one is that there's a process that happens with our kids, with other humans. It's called co-regulation. And at all times, when I'm walking into a room or you would walk into a room and sit down with me, you would end up very much stopping and our eyes might be looking at each other and we're checking each other out in a completely below the surface way to assess for safety or danger. Our systems are just made to do this. Our systems are made to read each other. And it's not just energy. I mean, people use words like energy. It really is your nervous system activation. So if I'm anxious, my kids are going to be able to pick up on that at a level that they're not even aware of. And of course, they already have their own anxiety. So me being calm, me being grounded, me being in my body, in the present, in the moment, is good for me. It's good for them. I tell them, look, let's take some breaths. I tell this to my kids all the time. Just stop and breathe for a moment. It's the best nervous system regulation, emotional regulation hack there is just stopping and breathing, getting the air in. So that's big. So that's one thing that we can do, is being able to stay in this kind of state. The other thing that we can do is we just really need to change our expectations for ourselves and our kids a bit. And this to some folks sounds like, what are you talking about? The truth of the matter is we are all in this. And while there's definitely going to be some difference in terms of some opportunities like pods or tutors that some kids of means might have that other kids who don't have those means aren't going to have, by and large, our kids, none of our kids are really going to school right now in the same way. And there are schools that are in session elsewhere in the country, and that's great. But certainly here in the Chicagoland area, there seems to be more and more remote learning that's being announced. So the mindset of really it is okay if we take a bit of the pressure off Everybody is going to be losing something right now and hopefully gaining something that we hadn't anticipated. But changing the expectation. I can only do so much in a day. My kids can only accomplish so much on remote learning. That's just the reality, no matter what we do. And if we can say to ourselves, okay, we're going to do the best we can, and that's all we're going to do, that really helps everyone around us to also be able to reduce some of their anxiety, because that's what we're after here. We want you to be able to get through this time. I want me to be able to get through this time. I want my kids to be able to get through this time without having extra anxiety, if possible. And the third thing that I would suggest is that you have times during the day when you can, at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, just to do a quick check-in. It's not a show me your homework and show me everything you've done. It's more of a, how did it go? How are you doing? How was this for you? Just having a conversation. And if they can sense that you're just being curious, you're not trying to manage, you're being curious, they're more likely to tell you, hopefully, what it is that's happening for them. So those are three things that perhaps you can try for yourself with your kids that might help you get through an otherwise really difficult time. I'm Dr. Margot Jacot of the Juniper Center. I wish you well. I hope the beginning of school goes as smoothly as it can for you and for your kids. Bye-bye.